Hi, I'm really excited to talk about the Orbifold Tarot today. Let me just show you the box. Now I have the mini version. It's a nice sturdy box, and here it opens on the side, and it has a magnetic closure. You can get it at orbifoldtarot.com, which I will link below, and the artist designer is Michael Bridge Dixon. So it comes with some instructions here. It's just a little bit, but it is all you need, and it goes through the majors and what elements are associated with each card, and a little sentence on each card. And then we also have the minors and what the numbers represent. When you open this up, it talks about the elements and the properties of each of the elements. So the deck is really, a combination, as all tarot is, but this is an obvious combination of elements and the numbers. Let me show you the back. Beautiful. And let me just show you the size. So this is about the size of a bridge deck, and I do read with a bridge deck. So I have a card here. Now, if you're not familiar with a bridge deck, it's a little smaller than a poker deck. So you can see this, the Orbifold is just about that size. Let me show you with a business card. So the mini deck, the mini version is 2 inches wide and 3.5 long, and there you see it. It's about a 1/4 of an inch wider than a business card, but there is an option that you can get a full-size tarot as well. So the Orbifold Tarot is very unusual. It's all based on one form, and that is the circle or the orb. So let's take a look at the Fool. I like this very much because it looks like an egg, life, new beginnings, and all of those things that the Fool represents. So the majors all have like sort of a matte black background, but then you look at the border. And the border of each card represents the element of the suit. So that's why you see there is a yellowy kind of golden border on the deck. Now when we look at the Magician, okay, the orb in the center has all of the colors that represent the 4 elements. And then around the border as well, you'll see the red, the yellow, the green, and the water representing fire, air, earth, and water. Really, it's brilliant. It really is. And here is the High Priestess, and I like this card very, very much. I really do. Okay, so it's simple, right? And we see the water element merging with the fire element. Not only is it creating a Vesica Pisces in the middle, but you also see there's a point of light in the center. Wow, what does that remind you of? Does that remind you of the left and right brain and the pineal in the center? It does for me. But there's also, to me, a very sensual quality to this card. And I have to say that one of the reasons I wanted to buy this deck was because it struck me as the type of deck that it would be a good tool for engaging both sides of the brain, So just love the High Priestess. Let's take a look at the Empress. This is really a nice follow-up, because here we see that the fire and the water element that we saw on the previous card now birthed another circle there. It is the earth element. Okay, so here is the Emperor. You do get that feeling of that you would get in another Emperor card. I certainly do. You'll see up top, you'll see the fire element represented on the border and the earth, the green on the bottom. And that real structure. The Hierophant. I do like having a deck that is devoid of the Masonic symbolism. It just gets to be a little overbearing sometimes. Here is the Lover's card. And I like this as well. You'll see the 6, you see the fire, water, all connecting. Now, I wouldn't say, this doesn't really give me that old traditional idea of choice, but it gives more of the idea of balance of these energies. And then you'll see in the center it's forming a hexagram. So really giving that idea of balance. The Chariot. Strength. The Hermit. I like it a lot. Water and earth element there. The Wheel. Of course, it has all of the elements represented. Justice. The Hanged One. Death. Temperance. You know, I think you can really take your time and sort of get into the forms. And here's the Devil. And when you do that, that will assist that intuitive side, you know, I was talking about earlier. Here's the Tower. It's pretty cool. The Star. Very pretty. And the Moon. Almost looks like it's glowing. And the Sun. It's gorgeous. So the ink is a little shiny. You know, it's really nicely done on the black background there. And here's Judgment. I really like this Judgment card. And you'll see in the center, doesn't it almost look like an eye? Do you remember in the Thoth deck, there is a big eye as well in the Judgment card, and it looks like everything's being sucked into that eye. Okay, here is the universe, and then we'll look at some of the minors. So, even though this deck is very different than what you're used to, I find that it is very easy to read in the short time I've had it. So let's take a look here. Now the minors are all done with a white background, and the difference is in the borders. So here we have the water, Ace of Water, with the blue symbol and blue border. Ace of Air, and here is the Ace of Earth. So you can see the symbols are actually all the same. And the Ace of Fire. But it's the borders that are different. So it's easy to distinguish. Now let's look at the twos, and I'll show you all of them. Here is the water and the air, too. So again, you know, the actual structure of the symbol is the same, but it takes on a very different flavor when you add the element to it. Water and air, and let's look at, here's the fire, and let me find earth here. Fire and earth. And it goes on throughout the deck that way. So I'm just going to stay with one suit and show you all of the shapes. So let's just stay here with the, let's go with the water suit. Why not? Okay, here's the 3 of water. 4. Now, as we get deeper into the suit, the borders get to be a deeper color of that, a deeper tone or shade of the corresponding color. Here's the 6. 7. 7 of water, okay, and 8. And let me just show you once again. Let's pick one more here, and I'll show you the 8 of air, just to remind you here. There's the 8 of air, and there's the 8 of water. So there is like a brilliant simplicity to this deck. Here is the 9, the 10. Really, just, I like these forms and shapes so much. Like I said, it's easy to spend time and just engage with that shape. Now let's get to the quartz. Okay, Let me show you the air suit here. Now here is the page of air. Now, as you would expect, now the background represents and rather than white or black, it actually is going to be the color of the suit. So air, so we have that yellow color. But then you'll see that there is a green border on the top half of this card. And the page is green. That is because it's considered in this deck that the pages, all of the pages, hold a bit of the element of the earth suit. So even though this is the air page, he's crowned with the air element, with the earth element. So you're working with both elements when you're working with the page. Now when we get to the queen, we're working not only with air, because this is the air suit, but she also, all the queens have a representation of the water element. So now we have water and air. All of the knights are represented by fire. So here we have the air knight, who also is crowned with fire element. And the kings are all air. So this is the air king, crowned with the air element as well. So it might sound confusing, but I promise you within 2 minutes you have it down. It's actually very easy to use. It's fun to use. And when I asked the deck, when I first got it, and I asked the deck, what will I most learn from you? This was the reading. I did put it aside. The first card that came up out of 3 was the 4 of earth. Structure, right? Stability here. And that earth element. Off to a good start, but look at the next 2. Remember I said I wanted the deck because I thought it would balance. It would be a deck of great balance. Well, look at the next 2 cards that came up. The next one was the King of Fire. And then the Queen of Water. So that's exactly what I was talking about earlier. That balance, that brain structure. You know, our intuitive side and our logical side. Our creative side, our reasoning side. And then let's put that together with that other card here, the structure of the earth element. So I think that was a great reading and really just right on as to what I was hoping and expecting from this deck. So I think you did a great job, Michael, and I will link the information below. Now, the artist also did a walkthrough on his own YouTube channel, and I will link that below as well. So thank you, everyone, for watching. Have a great day. Bye.